a like, share, subscribe to the page, hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. We got a special guest on. Introduce yourself, brother.
What's going on, everyone? My name is Edgar. I'm from the Snug Wrestling Podcast, and I'm here to be a guest on this show. This is a first for me, so I'm excited to be on. I hope you guys can hear me good because I'm going old school with the headphones. I don't got the fancy gadgets today on me, so hopefully it works.
Nah, you good. You good. You good. No, it's all good.
Nah, you look
So,
good, brother. You
uh,
look good. Everything looks good.
yeah.
Everything looks
So
good.
we we gonna skip all the small talk and we gonna get to business real quick. And the very first topic I wanted to discuss with you is the Rock documentary on WCW, the fall of WCW, who killed WCW. I want to get your thoughts on that because that's very interesting. Because I would think when you get a doc series like that, people that were actually involved would be the head of that series, but instead The Rock is directing it. So I would think Eric Bischoff will be the director, but The Rock is directing it, so it's making it interesting. What is your thoughts on that?
That was the most randomest shit ever when I found out The Rock and his 7 Books production was going to be like the ones that are putting it out. Because first of all,
Mm-hmm.
The Rock wasn't in WCW at all. You know, he was in the
Mm-hmm.
Attitude Era. He was the big reason why The Rock was, or WCW went out of business. The Rock, he's just a businessman. You know, he's gonna get his hands into as many projects as possible. Like he even did, what was it, Black Adam, or he'll just do anything that he can. And this is just gonna be one of those projects. I saw the people that are going to be involved in it. Eric Bischoff is going to be in it. Kevin Nash is going to be in it. So a lot of the people from the WCW are going to be in it. It's going to be interesting because it's going to be The Rock's promotion and it's going to be the people from the Dark Side of the Ring. The people from Dark Side of
Okay.
the Ring, they got a bad reputation already with some people in the wrestling business because of how they do their shows. The Rock, he's not very popular in the movie scene. There's a lot of The Rock gets a lot of bad press also. So I think it's just gonna be one of those documentaries that they're gonna twist it into their own thing. They're gonna make it into their own fucking story. And it's gonna lean a lot towards the WWE. Like they're gonna make it they're gonna sugarcoat a lot of things. That's what I think is gonna happen,
Mhm.
unfortunately, because of all the people that are involved. But hopefully I'm wrong.
Yeah, I definitely,
Um,
I definitely agree with you. Go ahead.
um, I don't know. I don't know. The Rock actually did. He never appeared on WCW, but he did have the WCW title before. I know that.
Mm.
Um, Towards the end of WCW, when they came, when all the characters came to WWF, Buff Bagwell and Scott Steiner, well, actually not Scott Steiner, but Buff Bagwell and uh, all of them. That's when they converted over, and Booker T was the belt and all that stuff. I don't know. I don't know how this series is gonna go, but The Rock, his Bucks production actually has some pretty good movies. So I don't know if they're going to how to say this. I don't know if they're gonna make a big thing or with the Dark Side of the Ring people. I mean, to be honest with you, I thought about Dark Side of the Ring. I really didn't like it too much, but I think The Rock probably going. He might do something good with it because if you look at the things been involved with lately, and in the TV series he was in, I think he's gonna do a good job. I think he's gonna do a good job. Now, are they gonna sugarcoat things? Probably, because they're gonna spin it where they make Ted Turner look like the evil guy. I mean, they're gonna have to be honest with you, because they ain't gonna make. And I don't think they're gonna talk about Vince too much. So I don't know. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I think I agree with both of y'all, but I also believe too that there might be some sort of spin within the whole within the whole Dark series. I'm just like you, bro. Like when I first heard about it, I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't involved in WCW at all. In fact, he's part of the reason why WCW failed in the first place. So how is that going to work? As far as
Why
him
you say
having a
he was a
docu
part of it
series.
failing? Why you say that?
Well, because for one, the Attitude Era, The Rock was a part of that. Rock and Stone Cold, and two, like they were going head to head on Monday Night
But they was getting killed.
Nitro.
They was getting killed by WCW in the ratings. Killed
Oh, they was getting killed, but you see who remained at the end of the day.
because
That's what I'm
because
saying. Like,
because the merger happened. That's why. It had nothing to do with the Attitude Era. It was because of the merger. They lost a lot of
you mean the
funding.
merger
Turner
with
lost a lot of funding. It was not because of WWF they went out of business. And then that's when they swooped
you
in and
mean the
took
merger with
everything. Huh?
you mean the merger with AOL. You mean the merger with AOL.
No, I'm saying when Ted Turner sold Time Warner, when they got involved, that's when it was over for them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that at that time, WCW wasn't obviously wasn't bigger than WWF, but more people was tuning in because of the NWO at the time. NWO had everything on lock, like it was crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously WWF remained, and then they end up buying them out, buying more of the shares and buying them out. But I don't think it was because of the Attitude Era that they went out of business. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I think I think that's one of the I think that's one of the questions that should be answered in that docuseries. Because the reason that I would believe that the Attitude Era was part of the reason, because you're right, WCW was smacking WWF at the time for what was it, like 83 weeks in a row or something like that. I think that's why Eric Bischoff, his podcast
Goldberg
is called
was the
83
Goldberg
weeks.
run.
Hmm.
Remember, yeah, the
But
Goldberg run in the WCW. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yes, but then like after those 83 weeks, I think WWF started picking up more steam. They started beating WCW, and I think that's what led to essentially Vince McMahon buying off WCW. I think that's one of the reasons too, because the WCW wasn't they couldn't keep up with the WWF anymore after a certain time.
Hmm. I
But
think
it,
that
that's
I
a,
believe that's
I
true
think I
too.
think that I think that once the merger happened and everything started going downhill, well, obviously that's when everybody jumped ship. I believe a good portion of the contracts was sold off. Buff Bagwell never even got a chance to wrestle. I mean, he showed up on Monday Night Raw and he actually left. He didn't even wrestle. Sting didn't come. A lot of them didn't. They just didn't. They didn't want to go to WWF or WWE. What was it? WWE at the time. They didn't want to go to WWE. Um,
yeah.
I,
I
I,
was just gonna say, just jump in real quick.
go ahead.
Buff Bagwell had one match on Raw versus Booker T, and he never came back after that.
Yeah,
He was just they just fired him after that. They were just like this one match that he had with Booker T. Everyone said that it sucked, and that's when he got fired.
yeah, yeah. That's
That's
crazy.
Crazy.
crazy. That is crazy. That is nuts. Yeah. Well, you know, one thing's for sure that I think everybody in the wrestling community is definitely interested in watching. And I'm going to be glued in because I'm going to be very interested in seeing how he conducts this whole series. Because if he don't do it right, you definitely going to hear about it later for sure. You know what I'm saying?
Well, Reese also brought up a really good point about Vince McMahon. Like, how can you have a docuseries about WCW going out of business without talking about Vince McMahon at all? And also, The Rock and John Cena, they're reportedly still in contact with Vince McMahon too. So The Rock is still buddy buddy with Vince McMahon. So I would assume that they have to talk about Vince. I mean, don't they? If
I
if
mean, I
if they
will
want
say
to say
this. This is my personal opinion. They all still in contact with Vince. Every one of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, that's just my personal opinion. I think
I
Vince
agree.
is always gonna be always gonna be in the background somewhere, always. And I know y'all can school me on this. Someone said that he's starting a new wrestling league organization.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I
those
don't
are the
know.
rumors.
There's
The
rumors.
ru-
The man
yeah,
is what
because
80
he sold.
something years old. I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't need to anymore. But people are saying that because he sold all his stocks, like out of nowhere. He got cashed out like I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars just out of nowhere, and people went crazy. They're oh shit, he's getting his money right so he can start a new company, and it's like nah, I don't think so, bro.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Yeah, I think as far as the money situation, he already had the money. He already has it together. So why would he want to cash out to get more money? I mean, what is he trying to create? A Voltron or something? Like, you know what I'm saying? It
Like if
don't-
he wanted
yeah,
to start a
it
company,
don't make any sense.
he could have done it by now. He didn't have to cash out all that. He already had hella money, you know.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. So, so moving along, the God is in WWE. The GOD's in WWE. Gorillas of Destiny is in WWE. Tama Tonga and Tonga Leoa is in WWE. I hope I pronounced that right. Don't shoot me if it did wrong, you know what I'm saying? But they both in WWE. Do you think that they are going to have a future match with the Usos? And if so, when? And also, do you think that WWE might try to take a hand in forming the Bullet Club in WWE, which there is rumors that it could happen?
Ooh, Reese, you want to go first?
Actually, don't actually. He knows much more about. I'm an old school wrestler, probably up
Yeah.
past the Attitude Era to up into like I don't know as much as y'all know now. You know what I'm saying? I just started getting back into the WWE, but I'm more of the Stone Cold Rock, you know what I mean, era. You know what I mean? A little bit after that. Like so y'all know more than me than I don't even know who I know who the Tonga Kid is, obviously, and I know who Fatu and all the whole Samoans. I know all them, but I don't know who Tommy Tonga and his son. I don't know them. To be honest with you.
All right, before hold on one quick, I'm gonna just give him a backstory real quick. All right, so the two guys we just mentioned are the children of Ming, aka, you know, what was his other name? And
Merciless of Death,
what
I
was his
think, or
other name?
Merciless of Death, or something like that.
Nah, I'm saying they're the sons of Ming. They're called Gorillas of Destiny in New
Okay.
Japan,
Yeah.
but now they're both of them are signed to WWE, and they're both in the Bloodline story, and they're both are sons of Ming. So,
Haku.
like, if that could give you, yeah, Haku, exactly. So, like, just to give you the backstory. So, what I was asking was, do you guys think that they're going to face the Usos at some point in time, and are they going to form the Bullet Club in WWE because they have majority of the members of the Bullet Club in WWE now, with exception of the Young Bucks, Hangman Page, Kenny Omega, and like one or two other guys, but majority of them are in WWE now.
God, man, I hope not. I mean, for the second part about the Bullet Club, I don't think we need to see that shit in the WWE in the year of 2024. I really don't think so. Even though just because you can do something doesn't mean that you should all the time. Do they
Mhm.
want to do maybe something to, give people like a one-off thing, a nostalgia thing, maybe have all of them in the ring at the same time chasing down the heels. Maybe one night, yeah, it'd be cool. People can get a nice picture of that. But do we need to see a run, an entire storyline with that name in the WWE? No, we don't. The WWE doesn't need to do that to sell tickets or get attention or nothing like that. And I don't think their fans, most of the WWE fans, I don't think they care too much about that. Unless, you're a hardcore wrestling fan from New Japan and you know all this stuff, then maybe. But most of the WWE fans, I don't think they are like that. And when it comes to like the Usos, I think this is where it's gonna lead to. When it's gonna happen, not anytime soon, because Jimmy Uso's still injured. Jay Uso is on Raw still. So we got to get them together still somehow, Jay and Jimmy. And we got to get them both over on SmackDown, or the Bloodline has to come over to Monday Night Raw. But yeah, that it's going to happen. That match between the Tama Tonga, what was the other one? What was the other one's name?
Tonga. I hope I'm pronouncing it right, but Tonga Leoa. Tonga. I might be getting his name mixed up with the
Yeah,
other Tongan from
I think it's
AEW, but
right. I think the other one is Tonga Leona or some shit, and this is Tonga
yeah,
Loa. But
Loa,
yeah, that
yeah,
match,
right.
that match definitely that has to happen for sure.
You said y'all said the guy what was it Haku. The
Hmm.
guy from
Mhm.
Japan. His name was Hakishi, right? Remember Hakishi? The guy with all the tattoos all over his body. What was his
You
name?
mean I know who you're talking about. Uh Damn.
Well, there
I
was
know who you're talking about because he
Rikishi.
wrestled against Bret
It
Hart.
was Rikishi. Then I think his name was it was Hakishi.
Hakushi.
Hakushi or
Hakushi.
something like that. He had
Yeah, it
tattoos
was
all over his
Hakushi.
body,
Yeah.
like black tattoos. He used to come in with
Yeah.
this hat right here. This hat right here. He used to come in the
Yep.
ring with that
Yep.
hat on.
Hmm.
He was dope.
Yeah,
He was
that's
from Japan.
Hakushi.
I don't know.
Yeah, he was he,
See,
he was
for
he,
like
Yeah.
for me, I got a wrestling podcast, right, where I'm supposedly, supposed to be knowledgeable about
yeah.
all wrestling, but I never got into New Japan. I never got into TNA or Ring of Honor or
Yeah.
nothing like that.
Now he was in the
So
WWE. He was in WWF. That guy. The guy we talking about. Look him up. He's dope, man. He was pretty
Yeah.
dope. He didn't I don't think he lasted long, but he had some dope matches. He was pretty interesting. He was pretty
okay,
Yeah,
interesting.
he had a classic match with Bret Hart. He had a classic match with Bret the Hitman Hart. Look up Hakushi versus Bret the Hitman Hart.
Dope,
They
man.
had
He
a
was dope.
very dope match. Yeah. Hmm.
That dude
okay.
was dope.
I mean, you're not talking about Yokozuna, are
No,
you?
no, 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 no.
No, we're
This
talking about
guy was
Hakushi.
his
Hakushi.
name was Hakushi. Yeah, you when you
Okay,
see him, you be like, oh, I remember this dude. He had tattoos all over his body, like all black tattoos, like Japanese letters all over his body.
okay.
All right, so
Nah,
let me give you more of a visual. Okay, so I know you know who this guy that was in ECW. He was a former ECW television champion, and he ended up coming to WWE. They called him the Buzzsaw.
to
What's
Jerry?
this guy's name? Tajiri. Okay, so picture Tajiri with a bald head and tattoos all over his face and just a mustache with a very small beard. That's Hakushi. Same, similar move set. Similar move set. I think.
I can't. You don't fucking remember. And he was part of the bloodline too. He's some Samoan fool too.
No. He was
Samoan?
Japanese.
Nah,
Oh,
nah, he
he's
was
Japanese.
Japanese. He was Japanese. Yeah.
I was gonna say because man, there's so many of the Samoan family, man. Man, they're so hard to keep track of sometimes. There's a lot of fucking Samoans in wrestling.
Yeah, it definitely
Bruh,
is.
I I've like literally witnessed and seen at least 100 Samoans within the wrestling industry thus far. One of them, which I just found out not too long ago, who's within this bloodline, owns his own wrestling company. The
Mm.
WXW, he owned WXW. I forgot what his name was, but he owns WXW, and it's a Samoan based company, and the company's fire. I actually followed them on Instagram, and I've watched some of their stuff on YouTube. They're pretty good. They're pretty good.
Yeah,
Um,
I think someone
yeah,
did tell me about that. I did hear about that. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
you're not wrong.
So go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say you're not wrong about that promotion. That's a real thing.
hmm Yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I was definitely tuned into a few of their matches. So the next question I want to ask, and me and Funeral Man have been talking about this topic for at least this is how many weeks has this whole situation between Kendrick and Drake been going on, bro?
Um, since
Oh my
since
God.
since the beginning of well, it's been going about 2 months. Like that since like that came out. If you want to go before that, you could
hmm
say first person shooter, but we just gonna start with like that. Since like that came out, I
hmm
think like that came out in like that came out, I believe, a month before everything started.
hmm
So,
So what I want to ask is your opinion, because usually we just do straight combat sports, but we make an exception tonight because of the simple fact that at Bars Wrestling Media, which is an extension of Combat Convo, we also discuss music on Bars Wrestling Media. You know me, hit word Bars Wrestling Media. You understand? So
Yeah.
what I want to ask you is, what is your thoughts on this battle? And did you hear about the recent, stuff that's going on with Drake now?
Oh man, this shit's gonna be fun to talk about because I'm so used to talking about wrestling. I haven't talked about music in a while. Man, I used to be
Mm-hmm.
so into it when I was younger, and as I
Mm-hmm.
got older, I I didn't follow like the rap life or like the hip hop artists as much anymore. But my son, he's 14. He's a big Kendrick fan. Loves Kendrick. So he's been telling me, "Oh, have you heard? Have you heard this? Have you heard that?" And I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
"Nah, I'm out of the loop." But luckily for me, I've been watching your guys' reaction videos and just like listening to what you guys talk about the songs that they're coming out. So I just tell my son basically what you guys been saying, like, oh yeah, like that fool got bodied, and
Mm-hmm.
oh this fool he said this, he said that. I
mm-hmm,
like it, man. That shit's fun. I mean, it's music, but it's still like competition. It's still combat in a way, and
Mm-hmm.
I it just reminds me of like way back to Kanye and 50 Cent when they did their stuff. And even going back even farther, even Pac and Biggie when they did it. And it's fun, dude. I've been trying to listen to it here and there just so I can have something to talk to with my son.
mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
but from what I'm getting is Drake he's getting bodied. He's getting bodied. He needs help. He needs some milk. That fool needs to hit the weights. He needs to hit the weights, bro, because he's getting bodied right now.
Get him some milk.
Oh, yeah.
Get him some
Right here
milk.
in
Oh, man.
our household, we're Team Kendrick in my house over here, man. Like I'm telling you, my kid, he loves Kendrick. He loves Kendrick. So
Um,
Yeah, we've been keeping up with it for sure.
um, Drake's first mistake was battling Kendrick. That was his first mistake. People can say whatever they want.
Mhm.
If you listen to discography, you know why that was his biggest mistake. Because most people that don't like Kendrick, they don't listen to his music. They'll just say they don't like him. But then if you ask them, did you hear his album? Be like, oh, I only heard like 3 songs. Be like, you gotta listen to the whole album. That's one. Two,
Mhm.
Kendrick warned Drake. He literally told him in the song several times, let's just keep it friendly. Let's keep it friendly. We ain't gotta you where you at, I'm at, keep it friendly. First song in Euphoria, never mention anything about pedo, never mention anything about young girls, nothing. Second song, 616, he warned Drake again. Everybody that's around you, they're telling me everything. I'm just telling you now. Drake comes out with Family Matters, boom. Kendrick comes out with Meet the Grams, exposes him. Then Kendrick comes out with Not Like Us, battle's over. Drake comes out with
Yeah.
Heart Part 6, doesn't even matter at this point. So where Drake goes from here, just and I know it's gonna sound crazy, Drake should just retire from rap and just go off and just go off and do his endorsement deals and just let his music run. That's it. Or he should chill for at least 2 years. Don't say nothing. Then come back on a feature or something. Because whatever's going on right now with him, he done sold all his houses in America. He says he's not coming back to America. He's basically left. The situation he's in right now, he can't get out of because Kendrick put a stain on him that no man can't shake. That pedal stain, you can't
Yeah.
shake that, especially if there is footage of it looks like something's happening. It don't even have to be happening, but it just look like it a little bit. That stain is always going to be on you, and that's why I say he's done, man. Drake's done. Like people could just say whatever they want. They could try to boost him up. He drops something now, it's gonna look even worse. So just chill. He's done, man. He's
So
done.
he's the one that
Yeah.
started everything, Drake.
Well, okay, so if we go all the way back to the beginning of this whole thing, I'm gonna say Kendrick started it. But Kendrick
Mm,
started it on some competition. He called out all his
mm,
contemporaries at the time back in 2013, basically told everybody that was rapping at the time, I'm trying to murder all y'all on the mic. I want to separate myself from y'all. Fast forward to 2024, uh, J. Cole and Kendrick, I mean J. Cole and Drake does a song together called First Person Shooter, where they were taking shots at Kendrick. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
And that's when Kendrick came out with Like That and was like, okay, now I'm gonna separate myself from y'all. Now I'm going after you two dudes. So what happens is he does that. Then J. Cole does a response called 7 Minute Drill. And then 2 days later, he goes into his Dreamville concert and he apologized to Kendrick. And I believe the reason why he apologized because he knew what was coming. And he didn't want to be a part of it. He
Yeah.
knew that a comet was gonna hit Earth and he did not want to be a part of that. Because I mean, listen, I'm a Kendrick fan. I actually like all three of these guys. But the thing about Kendrick is he's 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 so far ahead of them that they don't even realize it. I think they just think he's just a normal rapper. No, that guy is he's probably the best rapper of all time. And I ain't saying that to belittle anybody else. Just off of his cadence, his rapping ability, his music, his flows, any and everything you can think of, he done did everything every rapper has ever done. Multiple awards, anything you can combat. I can bring an argument for Kendrick Lamar. Flows, fast flow, slow flow, singing, anything you could think of. storytelling, anything. That's just the only thing that's working against him, which he's 37 now. Jay is 50. I think Jay is 50. Hey Siri, how old is Jay-Z?
Jay-Z is 54 years
54.
old.
Jay-Z's 54. Kendrick been in the game since I believe 2000. What he's been in 2013, 14 around there when he really started being in the game. So if it's now 2024, that's 11 years. He got another 10 years. Jay-Z been in the game for 30 to 40, 35 years. Kendrick would be in the game for 20 years, and he's gonna double what Jay-Z did in the next 10 years. You know what I'm saying? And we're all assuming that if your boy Drake doesn't do anything no more, because he might, but if he doesn't, then his run ends now. So if Kendrick keeps going until he's 50, actually he would be, if he keeps going another 10 years, he'd be 47. So he'll surpass everybody if he goes another 10 years. Everybody, even Eminem, he'll surpass everybody. You know what I'm saying? But that's my take.
Yeah, I think that I don't think Drake is done. I don't think Drake is done. I think he's done as far as this situation with him and Kendrick, but I don't think he's done as far as musically. Do I think he should take a break? Yeah, I definitely think you should take a break because I don't think Drake was used to being in this type of situation, in this type of environment. Kendrick comes from a battle rap type of environment. You know what I'm saying? He's not just the typical type of MC. He's like his mental. He comes off as this songstress, musician, artist, whatever. But at heart, he's a battle MC. At heart, he's a battle MC. And you could tell from the way he articulated himself on all those diss records. You could definitely tell that's the environment he comes from. Drake may be familiar with that environment. He may be a hip hop head, but he is not cut from that type of cloth. I don't care how many times he hosts. I don't care how many times he hosts a URL event, a KOTD event, all them events combined that he has dealt with. He is not cut from a battle rap type of cloth. I don't care if he battles Mook, Lux, whoever. That's not Drake's forte. Drake's forte is him being an artist, him being a musician. That's his lane. He don't got no more other lanes past that. You know what I'm saying? So when he was dealing with Kendrick, he thought from a rapper's perspective that, yeah, I'm going to just out-rap this guy. No, you're not. You're not out-rapping that guy. In fact, you can't even out-rap the average rapper. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not his forte. He couldn't do it with Pusha T. Couldn't do it with Rick Ross. He definitely ain't doing it with Kendrick. You know what I'm saying?
I could give you some pushback on that. I kind of disagree with that. I'll tell you why.
Okay, it's okay.
Okay, I'll tell you why. I think Drake does understand battling. I think he don't understand the depths of versatility in battling.
Okay, so yeah, I could agree with you.
All right, so look, if we write it down on paper, they're about equal. When it comes to Kendrick and obviously Drake has ghostwriters, and I believe that Kendrick dumbs down a lot of his lyrics. He can rap better than Drake. He does it in a way where I agree with you when you say it's not his forte, but Drake can rap really, really well, but he's not versatile when it comes to battling because all his stuff sounds similar. Like even if he does a fast flow, I think he thinks if he does a fast flow or different flow, that's different. No. Kendrick Lamar can say something in a song that will just one thing. When he said he said, cut the business up, something. You got it twisted. What is it? The braids? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Drake can't change his cadence like that. Like he got serious, like, and he made you feel it. You know what I'm saying? The thing about Drake is he's manufactured. He's a great rapper, but what killed him was Kendrick's versatility. Because obviously we heard him on 616 and he can rap just as well or better than Drake. But what he did was he said, nah, I'm going to do something that's a little bit different. And I believe when you listen to battle rap, right, there's always a dude that's probably the better rapper, but there's a guy who stands out because of his words. And like, let's say Lux and Calico, first battle, Lux and Calico. Lux round was so legendary because he said stuff that was emotionally touched you. Drake didn't do that in this whole battle. So I kind of agree with what you're saying, but I believe that he is cut, but he's not versatile. You know what I'm saying? Because if you listen to Duppy freestyle, yeah, he got Pusha out of here. That joint was stupid. The story of Adonis won the battle for Pusha, but if you go back and listen to Duppy freestyle, nah, Pusha ain't had nothing for that. That's my personal opinion. But
okay, I heard that freestyle, but I'm gonna go back and listen to it again. We'll go back and listen to it again. Yeah, so you got your brief schooling of the Kendrick 101. Kendrick.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm over here taking notes. I'm gonna go back to my kid and tell him everything y'all said. Like I said it. Like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be so cool. I'm gonna be the cool dad now.
That's funny.
No, but like I think about it like this. Like again, going back to the old school days when they used to do shit like this. There's usually a reason for this. Like, what's the blow off here? Like, they have to capitalize on this because of all the media attention that it's getting. It's like part of pop culture now that even Shawn Michaels, who's like the most uncoolest dude in the world right now, got wind of it. And he's like, yo, come on down to the ring. So they have to do something, right? I think it smells like an album or something, like whoever gets the most sales or, something. They got to do something like that now.
Well, Kendrick is dropping the album, I believe. He's probably going to drop an album on June 16th. I think that this battle, a lot of people might disagree with me, but this may be the biggest hip-hop battle of all time. Because you got two dudes that are in their prime, they're still young, and they have multiple hits already. And they met each other at the top. You know what I'm saying? And this was on the news. They was talking about this on the news. Listen, my girlfriend is Venezuelan, right? She's in Venezuela right now, right? She sent me a video. And she asked me, is Drake a pedo? I said, I don't know. So she sent me a video of a song from the Kendrick new song. She sent me a video of it. And she said, this guy is saying he's a pedo. Who's this guy right here? I never heard of this guy. I saw that's Kendrick Lamar. And she said, wow. So she looked him up and she was like, they treat this guy like he's a god in America or something. I said, yeah, they do. I said, they do. I said, and she was like, I thought they was in a boxing match or something. I said, nah, this they going for song. And I said, and she was like, wow. She's like, everybody here thinks Drake is messing with kids now. So this is like going worldwide. Like people in Venezuela who don't even know nothing about rap like that, thinks Drake messes with kids.
Yeah.
It's like, so it's like, it's
wild,
man.
I can't think of another hip hop beef like this one that got this much attention, like ever. It's crazy. So that's what I'm saying. Like they got to do something with it, man. Like even if they have a fucking celebrity boxing match or whatever, people are they'll buy it.
Yeah, that would be interesting. So moving along, Jacob Fatu's debut, and And will he overshadow Solo Sikoa when he debuts? Now, this is the whole rumor that is being over social media in the wrestling world or whatever. They're basically saying that Jacob Fatu is ready, but they're afraid to debut him because they don't want him to overshadow Solo Sikoa. Now, me personally, I disagree with this because, like, if you got somebody like Jacob Fatu, it's best to utilize him now while everything is hot. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like if they wait too long, that everything will simmer down and that his debut will be lackluster. You know what I'm saying? You need some sort of build. This is the time to bring him in. Now, I'm hearing he could come very soon. He could be in there very soon. But every time that somebody pulls out a rumor saying that he's going to come next week or the week after, nothing ever happens. So my question to you is that if he debuts, is he going to overshadow Solo Sikoa? And if it comes to pass that he does overshadow Solo Sikoa, how can they simmer that down? Because for me, I'll give you my point real quick. For me, I feel that if he debuts, what they need to do is put him in a situation that's not going to overshadow Solo's situation as being the new tribal chief. To me, put a title on him. This is what my boy was talking about. Put a title on him. Make him the U.S. champion. Make him the U.S. champion. Have him take that title off of Logan Paul. I'm talking about have Logan Paul taunt him and then have him drag Logan Paul from pillar to post and snatch that title from him and drink the prime at the same time. You know what I'm saying? make it interesting. Insult to injury. That's how you do it. Put the title on him. Now he has his own story that he's dealing with, and you ain't got to worry about him overshadowing Solo because Solo got his own thing, and then him bringing the U.S. title over to the Bloodline. What side he gonna go on? I don't know. Whether it's the Roman side or whether it's the Solo side. But what I do know is he's gonna be the X factor and game changer.
Fuck, dude. This topic is fucking crazy, dude. Because look, man, Jacob Fatu, he's a legit badass. And people know this. People know that he has the criminal record. They know that he's no one to fuck with. He has the look. He just looks like a fucking G. Like, he looks like a straight gangster that no one wants to fuck with. You know, that's the type of guy that if you see in a dark alley, you turn around and you keep on walking. You avoid this fool. And he just has that look, man. So, I mean, I can see why people think that he could overshadow Solo Sikoa, but they have to present Jacob Fatu in a way that, I mean, and it's been done in the past where they position these big bad looking motherfuckers as kind of like lackeys, and they could do that to make Solo look like the leader. But in order for that to work, they have to turn Solo up more, like full blast. Give him more mic time. Do shit like kind of like you said. Put more heat on them. Beat up Logan Paul. You know, make him a real badass. I think that's what they're gonna have to do. It sucks, but they're gonna have to kind of hold Jacob Fatu back a little bit in order to. So that doesn't happen. Turn Solo Sikoa up all the way. Solo Sikoa, how he is right now, times 10, times 100, you know. But Jacob Fatu, he needs to kind of, they need to kind of like slow him down a little bit, I think. And they're going to have to, dude. Or they have to put him against Solo. That's what I think. You know, if Solo's he's creating his own bloodline. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that is possible when you say Solo versus Jacob Fatu. I think that could happen as well because if you watch all the changes from with Jacob Fatu, if you follow him in MLW, if you followed him on the Indies, you know what I'm saying, all other organizations around, like his best moments is when he's a heel. I don't look at him that convincing as a face, and maybe that's because the dude is just, you know what I'm saying, devastating. You know what I'm saying? First of all, what wrestler in the right mind has a match? And I know we've seen this before, but he had this one match, and I watched it on somebody posted it on TikTok, where he picks up a dude, a human being, and tosses him. Now I know what people are saying right now. Oh well, people got tossed over the ring before. No, not like this. Imagine you in a wrestling ring, and the wrestling ring is covered, and the ring is surrounded, I mean, with UFC type of gate. He took the dude and tossed the dude, and while he tossed him, he slammed against the gate and hit the cement floor. I thought the guy was dead. You know what I'm saying? But that was actually part of the show. So I thought he was gone. I was like, yo, man, that guy's out of here. He's out. He's out. Drag him out. I actually did a video on that. If you go to the TikTok page, BARZ Wrestling Media, you go there, you scroll down, you're gonna see a video with Jacob Fatu tossing the dude over the ring. And I put the sound effects with Shao Kahn, finish him, fatality. It was wild, bro.
I think that sounds familiar. I think I did see that. Okay, yeah. Dope, dope, dope.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly, I just don't know. Like I agree with you what you said that I feel like they should, you know, make him like that. But I just don't. If they try to make him a face, what type of face is he going to be? Is he going to be like one of those faces that are on the edge of being bad and good, sort of like what Stone Cold was, or is he just going to be flat out just disrespectful? You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying? And what side is he going to be on? Roman's side, or is he going to be on Solo's side? Because that's, I feel, is what's going to change the whole dynamic as far as this whole bloodline situation.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all think
Yeah, it's gonna be
y'all
interesting.
think y'all think Roman's gonna come back?
Yes.
Yeah, he'll be back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I think he's gotta get a baby face run in.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's sick, man. I was
Right.
reading
Yeah.
about
He
that,
is
man,
sick.
and that what he has, man, it's very hard to shake. He gotta get like, I don't know,
No.
man. I hope he
He's
does. Hope he does. I
yeah.
hope he
I mean, this
does.
whole time he's been sick, Roman.
Hmm.
Um,
Mhm.
and he said it during the press conference too. He's like, I'm still in remission, but even with being sick and dealing with this, I'm still at the top of the game. I'm still the top dog. I'm still he's probably like the highest paid wrestler still, even at being sick. You know, just imagine he said something like that. Like, imagine if I wasn't sick. Imagine the
That's what,
shit
yeah.
I
That's
could
a, I
do.
guess that's what I'm trying to say is like, I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. I'm just gonna say um he'll come back. I'm not even gonna put that out there. That's just stupid.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe he's going to return. I know for one thing that he has a movie role that he's shooting right now. He's shooting a
Mm-hmm.
movie. I forgot the name of the movie, but he is shooting a movie. And he's working
Mm-hmm.
on that right now. So that's part of the reason why we don't see him on television is because of the movie. Even though we already know about the leukemia thing and whatever. But part of the reason why is he's shooting a movie. The other reason why is that I seen this one interview with him, and he's saying he's staying out the picture because they're building towards something even bigger. Like they want him to come back as the biggest face in WWE ever. And that's what it's leaning towards. So he's chilling for right now, which I would rather him chill. You know what I'm saying? Do whatever he got to do to get his health right, shoot his movies, you know what I'm saying? Have a vacation because he deserves it. 4 years, regardless of what people say, 4 years of that man holding the WWE on his back. Through, you gotta think about it. He held the WWE on his back through the COVID era. Because remember, he ended up gaining that title while we was in COVID. While we was in COVID, he had that Universal title. He beat Bray Wyatt for that title and held that title all the way through, gained the WWE title, merged the two titles together, and held both of them belts for a good 4 years. Nobody has done nothing like that. Nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
he deserves his break. He deserves it. You know what I mean? Whatever he does, he deserves it. Yeah.
I got questions
Yes,
for you.
So,
sir.
Oh, go ahead.
oh
Go
yeah,
ahead. You
go
got
ahead.
more
Go ahead.
questions? Go ahead. You go ahead.
No,
I'll see.
no. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Because my question is like it's a little bit different. So who is your top 5 wrestlers of all time?
That's a me
No,
or
you,
S.
you.
Oh shit! Oh man, of all time. That's a stumper. That is a stumper. I mean, I'm an attitude era kid too. The greatest, Austin, Rock, Taker, Kane, and Mankind. That's my childhood. That's what I grew up in. That's what I would watch, and those guys were like on some like supernatural fucking superhero, like out of this world, larger than life type characters to me.
Mm-hmm.
So that's top 5 for me. Yeah, those, what did I say? Austin, Rock, Taker, Kane, and Mankind.
All right, that's a pretty good list.
Okay. Man,
You know
that's
me.
a real good list. Yeah.
You already know me. Rock, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Stone Cold, Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's basically similar to his, as far as WWE guys. Um, if I take out maybe one or two WWE guys, then you know what I mean, then we can add Sting, or we can add uh well, all of them were in WWE at the end of the day, so I can't even say that, you know. But I feel like my list at time varies sometimes because a lot of the guys that I like are still active, so they're still creating history, you know. So my list will like flip flop, but my top 5 usually stays the same. You know what I'm saying, for the most part. So that's why I say my list is very much similar to Funeral Man's, but at times maybe I might take this person, add this person, take that person, add that person, only because when you look back, these guys, the 5 that he mentioned alone, the 5 that you mentioned alone, had done so much in the industries is crazy. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
mentioned Mankind, Cactus Jack. My man is known for tolerance of pain. Man, like
Mm-hmm.
everybody remembers when he fell off the gate. Fell off the gate with Undertaker, had the tooth caught in his ear, or was his mouth, or whatever like that.
His nose.
That's iconic.
Yeah,
Yeah, his nose,
even
yes.
even before all that, scratch all that, falling off the cage and all that hardcore shit that he did. His Mankind character, his promos, man, that shit would give me fucking nightmares, dude, as a kid. Because
Facts.
just the way that he did it, the way that he delivered the squealing. Remember the squealing when he would like squeal like a
Mm-hmm.
pig?
Yeah, yeah.
He would
He
rip,
was like,
he'd
yeah,
fucking
pull
rip
his
out his
hair
hair
out,
and
pull his
shit.
hair out.
Like this
Yeah.
motherfucker's crazy.
Yeah, right. Right.
That's what
Yeah,
I
or,
remember the most.
yeah.
I like the Mankind. I think that um where I would go with after that is 6 would be Bret Hart, Kurt Angle, Sting, um Shawn Michaels. So Shawn Michaels probably would be 6. Then it would be Bret Hart, then Kurt Angle, 8. Um then it would be who was else? Who would it be? I can think of the last two right now. Think of the last two. I would say him, but I'm not gonna put him in there because I don't think he deserved to be in there. It's, Goldberg. Oh, Brock Lesnar. Brock
Mm.
Lesnar would be probably number 9. Number 10. Number 10 would probably be. Let's see. I'm trying to run through all these guys in my head. Oh, Roman Reigns.
Mm.
He'd be number 10. He probably would be higher because I
All right,
probably
I
would
gotta.
put him higher than 10. Be honest with you, because Roman Reigns did a lot for wrestling when wrestling was dead. He literally carried the whole wrestling industry on his back. Like he really made it interesting. Like to me, wrestling was cool, but Roman Reigns made it. Once he became like the Jordan sneaker wearing, the tracksuit wearing guy, yeah, he made wrestling like. I wasn't really into wrestling like that no more. I'm more into boxing, but then I started watching Roman. He was talking to the opponents and talking to the camera, and I'm like, yeah, this guy right here is the guy. He's that guy. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably put him a little bit higher. It's that guy, man. I like Roman Reigns.
Well, Reese, you got to add more. Let me add some too.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to add Rob Van Dam as my number 6,
it's a good
and
pick.
then Eddie Guerrero, of course,
ECW.
and Ray
Rey
Ray
Mysterio.
Mysterio. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
All those guys are synonymous with one another
You
too
got
because they
2 more.
all
You got 2
wrestled at
more.
ECW.
I got 2 more. You finish your thought, S, while I think about 2 more. My last 2. Oh wait, hold up.
Nah, no, good.
Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho, because that fool, he had hella heat with me when I was a kid because he defeated Rock and Austin on the same night, became first undisputed champion. And I was heartbroken. I was like 10 years old when this happened or something like that. But I've never forgotten that day. That day lives with me forever because I never thought that shit would happen. Never. Like this fool beat The Rock and Austin on the same night, and I was pissed. So Chris Jericho, he has to be on that list. Um, one more, last one I can think of. Randy Orton probably. He did a lot of big things when he first started.
You know who I thought you was gonna say? Chris Benoit.
Oh,
Because
I did
you
like him.
named well you didn't name Dean Malenko. So because I thought you was gonna name Dean Malenko and then Chris Benoit because you named Eddie Guerrero. So I thought that's what you were gonna do.
Uh, nah, Dean Malenko, yeah, he didn't really stand out to me as much as Chris Benoit. It's just one of those things where, we're not supposed to talk about Chris Benoit, so he's like out of mind now, but he was one of my favorites too, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
probably gonna get a lot of shit for that. But oh well.
Yeah. Okay, so we getting down to the nitty gritty. The last 2. So getting back to Eric Bischoff. So on his podcast, he throws. I want. All right, so let me start off like this. On his podcast, he talks a lot about AEW.
Hmm.
Um, I want to hear your thoughts, and then I'll give my opinion. Um, do you think he hates AEW, and why does he hate AEW, and why should he hate AEW when it should be, well, I just want AEW to get better because we should want, as a wrestling community, we should want AEW and all the other surrounding promotions to succeed so wrestlers could always have somewhere to go. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh fuck, dude, that's a very sensitive topic because I always got to bite my tongue. So I don't think Eric Bischoff hates AEW. I just think I agree with a lot of things that he says about them. Um, I think what people hate about AEW is like the arrogant fans, that they just can't accept criticism. They can't accept anyone saying anything negative about AEW or Tony Khan or the wrestling or the storylines or anything. It's like either if you have nothing nice to say about AEW, then fuck you type of attitude, type of mentality. And I think that's a lot of the reasons why people hate on AEW, including Eric Bischoff, because Eric Bischoff gets a lot of shit from AEW, wrestlers, Tony Khan, the fans. So he probably feels like he's got to defend himself at this point yeah, he's very critical of them. Um, most old heads are. Most veterans in the wrestling, not just Eric Bischoff, but Bubba Ray. He's very critical of them too because they're old
Jim
school.
Cornette is too.
Jim Cornette, old school.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these old school guys have a lot of negative things to say about them because that's not wrestling to them. They're used to a certain way of wrestling. And if it's not done the way that they're used to, then it doesn't make sense to them. So they want them to be successful, yes, but also like people gotta understand that these people, they're from a different era and they do things differently. And the way that they were doing things back then worked. Is AEW working right now? Not really, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
they got their own way of doing things, but
Mm-hmm.
their way of doing things isn't really working. So that they're just saying like, hey, this is how we used to do it. Maybe if you did this, that, and the other, maybe things would be different. But it's like, nah, fuck you, you old ass motherfucker. You don't know what you're talking about. You're from the old school. You're irrelevant. So there's like a lot of misconnections there. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, it's all fun and games. I mean, Eric Bischoff does it. He gets attention for it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and in a way, he kind of fuels fire under AEW. They take whatever the negative things they say and they put it on their show. So I see both sides of the coin when it comes to this situation for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I feel like I see both sides of the fence as well. I feel like both sides have gripes on to what's going on and things like that. I do feel that as wrestling fans in general, you should want AEW to succeed. You should want WWE to succeed. All the brands, you should want them to succeed for the simple fact it creates more content for everybody to watch. I feel like the minute you start trying to say, oh, this company should die and that company should die, that's where the disdain for me comes in, because like I don't want none of the companies to die. I want them all to flourish. Are there a few bad apples in each company? Yes. There's bad apples everywhere. You know what I'm saying? We can't stop the bad apples. We ain't sitting in catering. So how the heck do we know what the heck's going on? All we know is what being reported to us, and then we report it back and put our own stitch on it. So at the end of the day, man, I feel like, man, they should just let AEW live. You know what I mean? I like AEW. I like the content they produce. Do I agree with some of their booking and storytelling at times? Hell no. I don't agree with it, but I don't agree with some of the stuff WWE do too. So I feel like once we once we take our minds out of like this is the way it should be and that the way it should be, and just focus on just the content, just continuously getting better, then we can sort of like be at peace. Because if you look at AEW from a few years ago, because they only been around for 5 years. So if you look at them a few years back, they definitely have came a long way, regardless of the few mistakes here and there. They have come a long way. Do I think they need to work on their stories? Yes, they definitely need to work on their stories. They definitely should work on their booking. But as far as like the content itself is fire. That match with Daniel Bryanson and Will Ospreay, fire. You know what I'm saying? All those series of matches that Swerve had with Hangman, fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do I like how, you know what I'm saying, they're doing Hangman right? I mean, not Hangman, but Swerve right now.
Yeah.
They could do a little bit better. They could do a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? That's their champion, so you gotta make him look like a champion. Like prime example, last Dynamite, right? So they had the what's his face, the Mogul Embassy turn against
Yeah.
Swerve, right? Where was the
Right.
build for that? It just came out
Yeah.
of nowhere. They just turned against Swerve and they power bombed him onto the announce table. Where was the build? It just came
And
out of
just
nowhere. So
just just real quick, sorry to cut you off because my phone's about to die on me. So I want to get my last thoughts in
okay,
before I get out of here.
okay,
Is
uh,
AEW? There's nothing wrong with listening to the old heads, the veterans that know, that've done this, that've been successful at this. You know, maybe they should get over their pride and, you know, take a second to, try to learn a thing or two. But that's, my final thoughts for this whole thing with, the Eric Bischoff and AEW situation. I'm gonna listen to Eric Bischoff on his shit. I listen to it all the time. He has a lot of good points. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. Reese, I want to thank y'all for having me on your guys' show today, man. It
Yeah.
was dope. And next time, I had S on mine, but next time, Reese, come on down, and you can join in also. And just real quick, I'm gonna plug my shit at Snug Wrestling. Hit me up, Edgar Avila, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok, everywhere at Snug Wrestling. S, man, thanks again, bro. This shit was fun.
man,
All
no
right, bro.
problem,
Take care,
man, no
man.
problem. I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, later.
Peace.
No, you remember that? Like you was having them build themselves against jobbers.
You know what I mean? Barry Horowitz. We all know who Barry Horowitz is. He was like the top jobber ever, or the Brooklyn Brawler.
That line is trash. Before he even did the jump, before the jump, the line is garbage. I'm Mr. Sparky.
People watching them 24/7. I don't think any big time company like them is gonna agree to something like that. You know, but at the same time too,
that guy, Booker T. Booker T has it. What? The Spinner Rooney and all this stuff? Nah, they ain't got nah.